but what they know naturally as brute beasts, in those things they corrupt themselves. Speaking evil, scoffing, speaking of things we do not understand, believing that we can chide the evil one. We don't even see the evil one, except for by the Holy Ghost. How does the evil one live? Where does he dwell? This is some good stuff that God has given us in Revelation. I want to take you back to a time. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth was without form and void, and darkness. Remember that word that Jude just used? Chained in darkness? And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. Do you understand that it doesn't say, like God says later on, that when the light shines, the darkness shall become light? Do you know that God, by His Spirit, showed us that where God divided light from darkness, do you know why darkness was left? Why was darkness left? If darkness is the opposite of light, and light God called good, why would God leave the darkness?
For the fallen?
Yes. Because if God did not leave darkness, there would be no room anywhere for rebellion against God to dwell.
Would that be slavery then?
Well, those are questions now that we begin to ask. God allowed the darkness, or set aside the darkness, so there could be a place of rebellion against Him, in which for it to dwell.
We would make a choice, right?
Well, I want you to understand, at this time yet, man had not fallen.
Was darkness an aspect of God?
I don't believe so.
But He doesn't want, I guess what
Now,
I know about is He wants by choice.
yes. Now, before any of these questions can be answered, let's go on. When Lucifer said, "I will create a kingdom like the Most High God," if you look around and you say, well, everything that God has made with a purpose, and all things reflect Him. Where is the only real estate available for that new kingdom to be laid out upon? God owns everything. He has declared everything. Everything is into being, and it declares His glory. Where is the only piece of real estate that you have to lay your kingdom out upon?
Hearts.
In where? Darkness. In darkness. Now, Lucifer, disguising himself as an angel of light, he is not content. He is not content to allow that place which was called darkness by God to remain in darkness. So who will become the light of that darkness? Lucifer. And now we have another problem. How will man become a believer upon him as being the light in that darkness, if man already has a light, and that light is God?
Corrupting it.
How?
And what we hear, perceive.
Yes. Where did that happen?
By God.
Yes. And how was Eve first swayed? she became a believer upon his word.
Okay. Instead of death, it's good deed.
Yes. And Satan did not even take and steer far from what God had said. Satan said, certainly God knows you shall not die. When Lucifer said die there, like we talked about earlier, was he speaking about a spirit separated from God? Or was he speaking about a heart that would stop? Yes. So in that, Lucifer can walk away and say, I'm acquitted of lying. You did not die.
Yeah.
Right. Now, I want you to understand that even at that time yet, God's judgment set upon Lucifer's kingdom, and that is where it is set. The law is that which is found in sin must die. Was not placed until after Eve and Adam took of the fruit.
So did God know that Lucifer would rebel before him?
In a place where time does not even exist, how do we... I can't even begin to touch that. God says there is a heavenly way of thinking, like a heavenly way, and there is an earthly way. Because we do not partake of the heavenly way, we cannot fathom. But I can tell you that because of the way our minds work, I can tell you to a small degree how Lucifer's mind works. Now, Lucifer began to spread out his kingdom. God said that he was going to be bound, that the serpent was going to be bound or in a curse to crawl upon his belly. Right? And all that is found in sin must die. Now death is going to visit all who are found in sin. And all that are found in sin must pass through judgment. How does God judge? I can tell you how God judges. We were shown very first, God's first expression to us of his judgment was blood or no blood. That which blood, the blood that he required, the blood that was found upon was redeemed. No blood means accursed. Henceforth, I believe that all blood, God announced to us blood, because before even that announcement was made, I believe that the Son of God had already decided to yield his soul. So now, I want you to understand. Think of it like an hourglass. There you have all that is in God's sight, all that is in heaven, all that is yet remaining good in the light of God. Jesus said, see that the light within you is not darkness. God didn't say, see that there is light in you instead of darkness, but see rather, make sure that the light within you is not darkness.
Where's that from?
We'll dig that up later.
Matthew 6.
So, why? What darkness could be called light? I can tell you. It is the angel of light. Now, again, like an hourglass. Everything that God has done toward man, and everything that man has done which is received or has been received by God, has come through whose judgment? The Son of God. Everything has passed through him toward man. Everything that has been received by God from man has passed through Jesus Christ. Including our prayers. He is that throne of judgment.